Gao Tu's world changed the moment the doctor spoke. "Mr. Gao, you are pregnant." The words felt impossible, as if reality had warped into something he could not comprehend. One night, a single night with Shen Wenlang had altered his life forever. Gao Tu remembered everything vividly. The heat that consumed him, the uncontrollable instincts that had overwhelmed him, the scent of Wenlang so strong, so intoxicating that even Wenlang, the man he had loved silently for over 10 years, had lost all control. Gao Tu had wanted him, loved him, dreamed of him, but this wasn't how it was supposed to happen, not like this. The raw intensity, the way Wenlang had pinned him down, leaving him helpless yet stirred with feelings he had tried to contain, had left scars on his heart. At the hospital, the doctor's warning struck him with cold clarity. Omegas need their mates during pregnancy. Their presence, their pheromones, help sustain the pregnancy. Without that, complications increase. Miscarriage, severe illness. Even death is possible. Gao Tu's chest tightened. Alone, with no one aware of the life growing inside him, he was fragile in ways that terrified him. But still, a fierce resolve rose. He could not terminate the pregnancy. The child within him was a part of Wenlang, a part of the man he had loved in silence for a decade. Every pulse of fear, every racing heartbeat, only reinforced his determination. This child was proof of the bond they shared, even if Wenlang did not know it existed. Returning to work was unbearable. Gao Tu moved through the office like a shadow, calm and professional on the surface, but beneath, his heart raced every time Wenlang appeared. Every glance, every accidental brush of hands across a desk, every smile or passing word set his chest on fire. Memories of that night were relentless, flashing unbidden. Wenlang's eyes, the firmness of his hands, the unintentional tenderness buried under the intensity. Gao Tu feared that if Wenlang suspected even a hint of the truth, that he was an Omega and that this child was his, everything could collapse. 10 years of friendship, of quiet connection, of unspoken longing, hung by a thread. Each day, Gao Tu forced himself to appear normal. He smiled, spoke lightly, maintained the perfect rhythm of a secretary who had nothing at stake. But the act was exhausting. His mind was consumed with the impossible reality. He carried Wenlang's child, yet Wenlang was oblivious. He could not stay away though. 10 years had forged a connection that even fear could not sever. Even with the danger looming, with every heartbeat reminding him of the life growing inside, Gao Tu could not leave. He would remain near Wenlang, even if only as a shadow, silent, unseen, guarding both the secret and the life within him. The secret weighed heavily on him. Each approach of Wenlang, every conversation, every ordinary interaction became a trial. How could he maintain the facade of a beta, of a colleague, when the truth of his identity and the life he carried threatened to unravel him at any moment? Every heartbeat carried duality, love and fear, longing and terror, hope and despair. He wanted to confess, to tell Wenlang everything, to collapse into his arms and seek protection, reassurance, and understanding. But doing so would be reckless. The consequences could be fatal not just for the child, but for their fragile connection, for the trust that had sustained them for a decade. Evenings offered no escape. Alone in his apartment, Gao Tu would sink into his bed, exhausted from the tension of the day. The memories of that night replayed endlessly, burning into his mind. He thought of Wenlang constantly. His voice, his expressions, his smiles that seemed so far yet so close. The child within him was proof of a bond Wenlang did not understand. A bond that had been formed unknowingly in a single night. The thought was both comforting and terrifying. The responsibility of protecting this life, of keeping the secret, pressed on him relentlessly. The world outside his window seemed distant, irrelevant, while the life inside him demanded vigilance, care, and secrecy. As the days passed, Gao Tu realized the impossible truth. He could not continue indefinitely. The office, the routine, the proximity to Wenlang all were unbearable under the weight of secrecy. He had to make a choice. Every instinct, Every ounce of self-preservation screamed that he must leave. He could not risk Wenlang discovering the truth, could not risk the child's safety, and could not expose himself to potential harm if the secret were revealed. Writing the resignation letter was agonizing. Every word was deliberate, calm, professional, but beneath the surface, his heart shattered. He had to leave the man he loved, the life they had unknowingly created, and the connection that had been his anchor for 10 years. When Wenlang read the resignation letter, a profound emptiness enveloped him. 10 years of friendship, of trust, of subtle intimacy, had vanished with the stroke of a pen. He did not understand, and he did not know that the absence carried a secret so significant it could have changed everything. The office felt hollow, the once comforting presence of Gao Tu gone, leaving behind a void that Wenlang could not name, could not reconcile. The loss was confusing, disorienting, and painfully real. He had no idea of the turmoil, the secret, the life growing quietly and dangerously elsewhere. Meanwhile, Gao Tu moved forward, weighed down by secrecy, longing, and unspoken love. He watched from afar, protecting the child, guarding the truth, and preserving the bond, however fragile that remained. Every moment with Wenlang, every memory, every passing thought reinforced the need for caution, the need for distance, and the need for vigilance. He loved Wenlang fiercely, silently, but above all, he loved the child, and that love demanded sacrifice, vigilance, and unyielding patience. Gao Tu's days were heavy, but he endured. He endured for love, for life, and for the faint hope that one day truth, understanding, and perhaps a fragile form of happiness might be possible. The weight of the pregnancy pressed on Gao Tu every single day, both physically and emotionally. He felt the life growing inside him, a small yet undeniable reminder of that night with Shen Wenlang, a night that neither of them could fully control, triggered by his heat and Wenlang's compatibility. Each movement, each ache reminded him of the danger he was in. The doctors had warned him countless times that carrying a child as an omega alone, without his mate's presence, was incredibly risky. Miscarriage, severe illness, even death, they had said it all. Yet, despite the fear, he could not bring himself to consider ending the pregnancy. This child was a part of Wenlang, a piece of the man he had loved for more than 10 years, and Gao Tu's love for him only deepened the resolve to protect it. Every glance from Wenlang, every interaction at work, was a mixture of longing and terror. He had to hide the truth, maintain the illusion of a beta, and suppress the longing that screamed inside him, all while feeling the life within him grow stronger every day. It was a secret that consumed him, that haunted his nights and weighed on his every waking moment, yet he bore it silently, knowing that revealing it could destroy everything he loved and risk. The one thing he had to protect most, the child growing inside him.